My name is Shelby Steiner, and today I'll be giving a presentation on my recommendation report over solar energy versus wind energy, and at the end I'll be giving a recommendation as to which source should be used in future energy production. So the purpose of this was to compare the efficiency and reliability of solar and wind energy in terms of becoming a new method of energy production, not only in the US but globally. Due to the greenhouse gas crisis that we're having and climate change, many people are looking for an alternative source that can benefit our environment. So the problem, we need to find alternative to current energy production methods that are not noxious to the environment. The greenhouse gas effect causes all of the emissions of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, just everything. It hovers in the ozone and then it keeps the heat inside. And that's what's killing our environment, causing climate change, melting the ice caps. And the more people we have, the more energy we use, and the worse this gets. So it's becoming a global problem. So scope. This investigation focuses on the efficiency and reliability of solar and wind energy, as well as the impact on the environment, because that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to do here is we're trying to find an alternative that doesn't hurt our environment. So we want to make sure that the alternative we pick, even if we think it's a renewable resource, we need to make sure that it's not actually hurting our environment. So in terms of their reliability and efficiency, wind energy is affected by weather. You have to make sure that it's in the perfect location, that the wind patterns are just right, that the rotor size is just the right size. But they are highly efficient if placed correctly. Now, solar energy has a high production cost. The materials used to make it are very, very expensive. It's very temperamental. Sometimes you have to give and take with the design of a solar panel. Some people have to add mirrors and they have to do other things. So you already have this expensive product and then you're having to add more to it. So that the photovoltaic cells are really getting all the sunlight possible. Also is affected by weather. Of course, solar panels need sunlight, and there hasn't yet been something created to where it could store sunlight, although I did read something from the University of Houston news page the other day that maybe we are working on something there, which is very exciting. But for now, you need sun to use the solar panels. So my interpretation of this, due to the high costs associated with maintaining the efficiency and reliability of solar fields, I believe that wind energy is the best alternative in terms of reliability and efficiency. This is just in the US within the last few years. Since 2009, wind turbine production has gone up 20 to 50%. Everyone seems to be loving it because not only are we able to get manpower in and pay them to build it, they're efficient, they're helping the economies locally and at the state level. So the next thing we'll be talking about is the environmental impact. Solar requires a vast expanse of land and destroys the environment. Although one of the new methods people have been using in the solar energy when they are planning to build a new field is they've been mapping the region that they'll be going in and trying to find the best place for that. Because solar panels, whenever you build them, it really does destroy the ecosystem that it is in. The ground erodes and decomposes, and so nothing will ever be able to live there again because you have to have acres and acres, hundreds of acres of these cells, especially if you wanted to power something as large scale as, like, for example, Houston. And then wind, decreasing bird population. That is one problem that wind turbines have, is that they are always spinning. So anything that's flying by can be hit and killed. There was actually a study done that said thousands of, in this particular case, thousands of bats had been killed. And so he had done research and he actually went back and found out that over time, and since the basically inception of wind turbines, hundreds of thousands of bats had been killed. And so this is just a little table of all the different bird populations that have been affected by wind turbines. So my interpretation of this data is that though affecting the bird populations, wind facilities do not cause nearly as much damage to the environment, nor do they require such specifics in their requirements. Because when you're looking for somewhere to put solar energy, you really do have to look at a map and determine and calculate where exactly the highest sun potential is. You can't just put that wherever you want. And wind turbines, though there is some destruction in their installation, that land could still be used later. So my conclusion is that wind energy outperformed in terms of efficiency. It can be accessed 24 hours a day. That's the one problem that the solar panels really do face. So if that was able to be fixed, that would be great, but we're not there quite yet. Reliability, it requires fewer concessions to be made. Once a wind turbine is created, along with the specifics of how big the rotor size needed to be and everything like that, it really is low maintenance and you shouldn't have to care too much about it. But solar energy, they have to be monitored all the time. You have to make sure the sun is really reaching the photovoltaic cell. If it's not, you have to add mirrors. Sometimes you have to add a cooling system in place in case they're overheating because of the mirrors you added. They're just very temperamental, and that requires someone to devote their time and energy to that. And we're kind of wanting a low-cost option, not only monetarily but environmentally, and we don't want people out there all day long kind of wasting time. And then as well as the ecological impact, in my opinion, I believe that a few birds killed is a little better than the destruction of hundreds of acres. So my recommendation is that wind energy is recommended as the most reliable, efficient, and environmentally friendly conscious solution to the crisis that we're having in terms of energy right now. I think that it is the best alternative, especially if we're going to help change our environment and our climate and help move towards a healthier society. So these are my citations. I got everything from the UH library. Many of them are from Science Direct, Bioscience, and just a whole bunch of science articles that were very, very helpful. And I couldn't have written this without it. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please email me at signersurfer@gmail.com or feel free to call me at 936-827-0416.